Hey guys, T-Live here, and today thought we would take a look at the new boat that we're going to be getting tomorrow on Thursday. This is the Tier 8 German light cruiser, the Mainz, premium light cruiser, the Mainz. This was a lot of fun. I'm a fan of the light cruisers. Cleveland, the USS Cleveland is probably in my top 3 favorite boats, and I don't know, I like the playstyle on the light cruisers, so this did feel very comfortable to just kind of jump into if you're a fan of the light cruisers, especially at Tier 8. It is armed similarly to the rest of the light cruisers at Tier 8. So it just like Cleveland and Chapayev and Edinburgh, you do get 4 turrets, 3 guns. They are 150 millimeter, so they're basically 6-inch guns. And then it's got a pretty nasty torpedo suite as well. So I thought we would take a look at some of the stats, and I'll put it back together the way I had it run, just to kind of show you guys how I did it at least. Go over some of the captain build and some of the other little specs on it. Then I got a game for you. So, yeah, I was really happy with this. I'm definitely looking forward to its release. I have been told it will be a token event. I don't know any details beyond that, but it will be something that is at least partially grindable for. So, looking forward to that. Anyways, I guess let's go ahead and get into it. Like I said, as far as guns go, 4 turrets, 3 guns, 150 millimeter. I found the shells to be pretty typical for German. AP hits pretty hard, at least for 6-inch. The HE works, but is a little underwhelming. I think when I compared to Cleveland, just because that's kind of my go-to Tier 8 light cruiser. So Mainz 413 HE, 661 AP. So you can see compared to Cleveland, just a little less on the HE, and but you get basically another 100 on the AP damage. So definitely the AP was the way to go. Reload time's a little bit longer at 8.2 seconds, but I didn't really seem to mind, didn't seem to notice. Turning speed. As far as health goes, it is a little bit lower than, say, the Eugen. See there? So, but for a light cruiser to be similarly health pooled to a heavy cruiser from the same nation, same tier, it's not too bad. According to the description on this thing, these were Admiral Hipper class inspired hulls that were armed as light cruisers. It doesn't like to get shot, but that's pretty typical for cruisers. Citadel, fire and flood resistance, damage reduction, torpedo damage reduction, all of it's the same as over here. Bam! See? Torpedoes, though. So whereas the Hipper and the Eugen get 4 racks of 3, Mainz does get 4 racks of 4. As a result, they do have a little bit longer reload time. But, 2 extra torpedoes per side, and they do come in handy. They have the typical short German range, unfortunately. So they're definitely more defensive than offensive in nature, but they're pretty handy to have, and as you will see in the gameplay a little bit later, the torpedo firing angles are excellent, both forward and towards the rear. So they may not have the legs to hit somebody far off, like, say, the Japanese cruisers, the Mogami and the Takao and the Maya do, but they make up for it by being very, very usable in the direction that you can fire them. AA is not great, but not terrible. It does have better AA than the Kutuzov. Not quite as good as the Cleveland or the Wichita, but pretty typical. Concealment 8.82, so just a little bit better than the Eugen. Not too bad for a ship of its size. Elite bonuses. You can certainly take damage reduction, citadel protection. I did run the main battery turret traverse speed. Stock is 10 degrees per second. So by taking advanced turret, that gets me up to 12. 12. Historical camouflage is exactly the same as I think both Eugen and Hipper. Main battery firing range, torpedo range, traverse speed, surface detection. Not too bad of a looking camo either. Very typically German. But take that little bit extra firing range, you know. That brings our guns out to 12.3 kilometers. Takes our torpedoes out to 5.62. Again, standard German torpedo range. Not great, but we'll take it. I don't think this messes with the numbers, but pretty standard loadout there. I did take turret traverse here. No secondary, so not really worth it there. And I mean, you can always take the dispersion, but I was actually pretty happy with the stock dispersion on this boat. So I did take turret traverse, acceleration, and steering as per my typical loadout. I was fine with the accuracy, so I didn't think it needed a dispersion personally. As far as consumables, skills, what do you want to call them? Details. You do get sonar, you get 2 rapid reloads, and you do get 2 air defense alerts. I know many are saying, oh, if I want to get the most out of this, I got to build a special captain for it. And yeah, unfortunately, that's true. I'm lucky enough on my personal account to have a Black Bismarck, which has rapid reload and air defense alert. So for me, at least, I'm able to just swap that captain over once I get this on my personal account, and I'll be able to multitask a captain, because anytime I can get a captain to work for me on more than one boat, I'm a happy camper. Anyway, so with that slot 1, get our turret traverse up to 14.4. On my light cruisers, I like my turrets to turn as fast as they can. That way, if I'm ducking and dodging, I can keep my guns on target. So I think that's all I have to show you guys here. Oh, captain build, yeah, important. Being a light cruiser, I did take the horizontal deck protection. Citadel strike, maybe you do get some citadels, especially with the German AP. I don't think the torpedoes are functional enough to really make Giant Hunter worth it, but being a light cruiser, I definitely think the deck horizontal protection was worth it. I did take APCS. Given that the HE is kind of lackluster, I thought I should try to get the most out of my AP. I was concerned about overpenning destroyers, given that German AP does usually penetrate pretty well, and now we're adding to that. I didn't notice any issues with overpenetration. On destroyers, I was getting full rolls in the 600s. So, and as you'll see, I was hitting some battleships too. So at range, I was getting some bounces with the AP against battleships, but at mid-range or closer, it pens just fine. So because we do have rapid reload, master reloader, definitely at level 10. No secondaries, no engine boost, so demo expert it is. Pretty typical from here, because we do have sonar and air defense alert. I did take these other skills. I know probably some people asking why I didn't put Franz von Hipper on here. Personally, with his buffed skills, where is he at? I just didn't really feel like I was going to get the most out of him on this boat. The enhanced APCS would definitely not be a bad thing. Sixth Sense is always handy. You know, the sonar buff is nice. But given that, you know, the skills that I'm really looking at taking, things like this one don't apply to the boat. To me, it was a harder sell. So I definitely think that he is better suited to German battleships or the German destroyer line. So anyways, just my opinion. So that's that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the game. All right. So we picked this game up, you can see here, almost a minute into it, just because, well, a minute of watching me sail towards the cap is a minute you could be doing other things. So I picked this game, well, first off, because it was a good game. I was pretty pleased with how it ended up, even though midway through it, watching it back, I was like, man, I don't know how I ended up doing as well as I did, given where I was at the midway point. But I thought it was a pretty fair representation of what the boat's capable of. I thought it had a good mix of things to show you guys all of the boat's different capabilities and you know, what it can do. So thought we would take a look and hope you enjoy it. God, I can't believe I missed that kill. That should have been mine. Didn't lead him enough. So AP versus the Cleveland there. Had a mix of full pens, half pens. And there's our friend the carrier. I do have some advice. If you see the carrier, shoot it. I'm sure that's not news to most of you, and I'm sure the carrier drivers among you probably don't appreciate it, but, well, hey, you're in the big boat. You're going to get shot at. Sorry. So that was really nice in that all 12 hit, but it was a little disappointing in that I think all of them were half pens. Did roll a Citadel there. That was nice. Bunch more half pens. And now we get some more AP against a battleship. Of course, he hit the brakes, so maybe we don't. And he hits the brakes. Everybody's stopping. Not going to fall for that again this time. Another German heavy cruiser. So the Siegfried was probably the one I was most concerned about here. He's only got 6 guns, but they're 15-inch guns, and I'm kind of stuck. So thankfully they didn't hurt too badly, at least not that salvo. Yes, I know, I'm bailing on the cap, I'm sorry. But it was time for a tactical repositioning. And I knew there was a battleship out there that was trying to get down on our flank. So yeah, I bailed on the cap, and yeah, it cost us to stop gaining points, but I definitely think it was the right decision at the time, given the points lead that we had. So this was where I kind of said, let's see what we can do. Normally I wouldn't rush a full health battleship in a light cruiser at this point, but again, we had the points lead, we had the cap back, and so figured it was worth a push to see what exactly the boat was capable of. As you can see, I got spanked pretty bad by that Monarch. Took at least one citadel from him earlier, but managed to land some good solid torps against him. Thankfully, I'm assuming he continued coming out from behind that island the way he did, because he didn't know that I had them. And then decided to try the HE, just to see how it would work. And I think if I'd stayed with the AP, I would have killed him faster. But, you know, it's part of the testing. So, anyways, we're going to wrap this up. So, wanted to say thank you guys for taking the time to watch. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. And I hope you're as excited about getting the Mainz when it comes out as I am. And let me know what you think in the comments. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. And we'll see you guys out there.